Hello, robotics and engineering students. Here is our final part of the Canoe project. This is part 3. This will simply turn our bodies and our skin into components and create a full version of the canoe instead of just this kind of quarter that we're seeing right now. One trick I do want to show you is the Shift N tool, which is to toggle visibility settings for components. If you actually come up here to inspect, you'll see the component color cycling toggle. It is a Shift N. If we go ahead and do that, our canoe turns to yellow. And that's because it is part, whoops, zoom in on the wrong place here, of this first component project here. And you can see the little yellow next to it. You can see yellow above that component in the timeline. You can see some different colors here because I've jumped ahead earlier to work on this project. What happens is by doing this, we can tell which of these are separate or different components because they will be different colors, and that can be useful for very complicated projects. So the first thing that we're going to do today is mirror our ribs and our spars. We have 4 ribs here and 2 spars. And we're going to go ahead and mirror those and turn those into their own components. You can see I've already done that here, but I'm going to show you exactly how that's done for this first rib, and then you can go ahead and do the others 3 ribs on your own. So this is how we do it. Let's go ahead to the Create menu, and we're going to choose Mirror. And make sure your pattern type is bodies. We're going to be choosing this body here. That's the rib 1 body. We can go ahead and just select that. You can select it here. You can go ahead and select it here. I sometimes just like to make sure I'm selecting the whole item from the browser menu here. And that's rib 1. And we need a mirror plane for this. And so we'll choose this right plane so it mirrors to the other side. And we can hit OK. So there it is. If we scroll all the way down, you'll see that's the opposing part of that rib 1, and here is the first part of that rib 1. So what we need to do now is combine this into one actual rib, not 2 separate half ribs. To do that, we'll come to Modify. I'm just going to unselect everything. Modify, Combine. Combine tool will combine 2 or more geometries into one object. For here, it doesn't matter what our target body is or what our tool body is. We'll select both of them. So we should have 2 items selected. We want that to be a join. And we do want it to create a new component out of it. And we do want it to keep the tools. When it means tools is, we want it to keep rib 1 as a body and rib 1/2 or parentheses 2 as a body, in case we'd like to reuse them later for some reason. So you will check these 2 boxes. And we hit OK. Now what I'm going to do here is turn off the bodies. And I'll minimize that. And I've gone ahead and kind of worked backwards here, but this video is done after I've done some of the earlier videos, but that's irrelevant. Here, we'll just change this to rib 1. And I'm going to, since I already have a rib 1, I'm just going to call it rib 12, just so we can see that. I already have a rib 1 up here. And here is a single rib. If I click on its little radio button, you can see I can have it has its own history. It'll have a body within it. That is one component, one actual body. So that is our rib 1 there. So you're going to do the same thing for the 3 additional ribs, and you can see I've done that here. Here's rib 2, rib 3, and rib 4. So you should have that next. The following will show you how to do the spars and to keep moving through that. So go ahead, take a second, and create your own ribs as components. You should have rib 1, 2, 3, and 4 when you're done with this process. See you in a second. Okay, so hopefully you were able to complete creating all 4 ribs as single components. If you've done that, it should look something like this. You should have rib 1, 2, 3, and 4, as so. Let's hide the bodies. There we go. This is what you should be left with. Your 4 ribs that are actual single objects, and they're all here, or single components, all here. And if we turn one off, everything should disappear. So that's what it should look like. We are now going to do the same thing for the mid spar and the center spar. So we're going to go ahead and turn the bodies back on. And let's find our center spar to begin with. Here it is. I'll highlight it. And same process. Let's mirror it. Bodies, select the mirror plane. Different mirror plane this time. We're going to go long ways for this one. There it is. And we'll hit OK. Okay, sorry, I have to kind of interrupt our video because, well, the rest of the explanation for the spars was somehow destroyed, didn't save. I don't know what was going on. It only recorded part of it. I'm actually in the video editor here. So the part you just were watching ends kind of right at this point where you are mirroring this center spar, and then you're going to combine it into a component just like you did with the ribs. You're going to do the same thing for the mid spar that's located up here and create a component out of it after you mirror it. You're going to mirror that entire mid spar component to get a second mid spar that will come on the other side. You'll see it right there. So you see the 2 mid spars on either side of the canoe. Here you'll also see that there are more than 4 ribs. You need to mirror the ribs. Ribs you need to mirror, not the center one. So the 3 outer ones need to be mirrored so that they show up on the other side of the canoe. Once you do that, then you can continue on to the rest of the video. Apologies for the technical mistake or difficulties or whatever you want to call them. I don't know why the video didn't save, but I think you have enough information to do what you need to do. Let me know if you have any questions. And now continue on. Okay, so now that we have the ribs and spars all completed and created as separate components, we're going to create components for the skin. We are only going to do this quarter of the boat. You can, if you would like to, you can mirror them and combine them for yourself. But for the purposes of this video and for what I'd like to see on, when you submit this project, I'm only needing this quarter of the boat to be skinned. I'd like to see the frame of the ribs and spars for the submission. So here's how we are going to do that. So let's go ahead and create the inner skin as a combined body. We'll go to create. Oops, that's a mirror. We want to combine. So we can begin selecting all of these. So there should be 8 items. Target body, there we go. Join, and it's going to keep them and create a new component from them. Go ahead and hit OK. And I like to quickly just double check, make sure it's done that, and we'll call that inner skin. Let's call it inner skin A. And let's do the same for the outer skin. Just going to turn this so we can see it a little bit better. There should be another 8 pieces here. Combine. See these top guys we need to pick. And then these lower ones. Whoops, not that one. There we go. Same selection set here. And click OK. Let's just double check. We got our new outer component. And we'll call that outer skin A. Great. So now I'm going to turn the bodies off. Now let's just minimize that. And I should see all the separate components I've created. That's 4 ribs, actually 7 ribs if we can count these. So I should see 7 ribs, a mid spar and a center spar. There's 2 mid spars again, 1 on each side and a center spar, and then an outer skin and an inner skin here. So that is it. You could, if you'd like to, combine and mirror these outer skins. I don't need you to do that for this project. I want to see kind of this view. So I'd like to see 2 views of this that you'll submit to the our Discord channel, the Fusion channel on our Discord server. Something like this, a nice shot where I can see a little bit of everything, including this inner skin, and then maybe another one from this bottom direction where I can see, again, your ribs and spars and your outer skin. And I'd also like to be able to see all your components here in those shots, so I can tell that you've got all the correct components. So 7 ribs, 3 spars, 2 mid spars, a center spar, and an inner and outer skin for the project. If you have any questions, please reach me on Discord. I encourage you to do that before Friday. It's harder to get a hold of me on the weekend with questions, so I'm almost always on during the week, so please try to get this done earlier, even though it is due by Sunday. Have a great day and have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.